in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Guys, hello. Welcome in. If you are tuned in, then you know this is the after show for CBS's new show, All Rise. But this is actually our pre-show, where we're going to talk about all the things we're expecting of this new series. But before we get into it all, I am your host, Alexis Brown, and I am joined by my lovely ladies. To my left, I don't know my right from my left. To my left, we have Princess. She is a true crime fanatic, so this is right up her alley. How are you doing?
I am so excited to start this show. I wanted to be a lawyer growing up, so it'll be really cool to see a face that looks like mine in the position I wanted.
Yes. And then next to her, we have Zuri, who is Law & Order's biggest fan. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm so excited I can finally watch the show. We've seen the billboards and like the bus ads, so I'm happy it's finally starting.
Yes, and this next person told me if she wasn't in finance, she would be a lawyer. It is Shantiera.
I sure would. Hey, y'all.
Hey, so I'm so excited to be with this group of ladies because we are talking about the new show, All Rise. So let's just get right on to it. We haven't seen the show yet, but we have seen the trailer. Just going off of the trailer, what are you guys' thoughts on what we have coming up, or what are some things you're excited about?
I'm excited to see how they balance the drama and the comedy. It seems very silly, which I love. It's crime, but not really. I also love Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I feel like there are moments that are quite similar to that, especially with our lead falling in the courtroom and the defendant showing up in her panties. So it'll be cool to see how they balance the two in the writing.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about too, the comedy. I was cracking up at the trailer, so even like the little cuts where someone like threw up, and I was like, oh, this is going to actually be funny, and it's not going to be corny, so I'm excited about that.
Okay, so I'm excited about, obviously, just the entire cast. I love their bond. I saw them on Instagram. I love how they interact with one another. I think it's super cute. And Ruthie Ann Miles is back. I mean, we were kind of talking about it before the show, that she kind of went through a tragedy last year. So to see her on here, I'm super excited about that. And for me, I believe that this show is going to highlight, I'm hoping, real cases that's definitely a little controversial, but also relatable to people that, millennials and people that look like us. And I think I like the fact that they added a little comedy to it, because it almost makes it not too serious, where it's serious but not too serious. And I love the fact that we have a woman in color who's playing the judge with natural hair at that. I love that. So I think that this is gonna bring a lot of things to question.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm totally with you on that. I think that's one thing that I've been most excited about with this show, is that it is a black lead. I used to work at CBS, so I did read the script, but in the script it didn't mention the lead being a black woman. So I'm glad that they decided to go in that direction, and I'm excited to see where they're going to take it now that she is a black woman, and if they're going to talk about issues that pertain to black women, as well as they just needed some color on CBS. They really did, so I'm excited to see that happen. So now that we know what we're excited about, what do we think is going to happen? If you had to predict what this show is about and what things they're going to focus on, what topics we're going to see, what do you think they're going to be?
I can start. I think that not all judges, but I feel like a lot of judges sometimes can get a bad rep. And I think with her, I think that she's going to try to come in and really show that there are good judges out there that really care, that want to get to the bottom of things that are happening. I mean, even with her, telling the young lady, did you do it? Saying, I don't want to talk to your lawyer. Did you do it? Having that personal interaction. I'm she set the tone for me, what she's going to represent. And I feel like I love it. I'm excited to see these cases. So
I agree.
I think that we're gonna get a different view. When I was doing some research on her and how she felt about the show coming out, she was talking about how her in this space, how she's going to have cases looking at young black children's backgrounds, understanding why they may have done things the things that they did. So I'm excited to see how that plays out, and I think that it will reflect in the culture and the way even real court cases are played out.
Yeah, and to your point, I think the show will give a voice to those who have been through the criminal justice system, even just seeing her relationship with the defendant. And like you said, she asked her, not what does your public defender claim that you're saying, but actually tell me how you feel about it, and to go deeper into those stories and understand where these people are coming from, which I think is really important. But another thing I'm excited to see, because I feel like it's in every show, is who are the love interests. I didn't pick that up from the trailer, but it's in every show. Even CSI, the most procedurals have love interests. So I just want to see who's the couple in this series.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because in all of the research I've been doing about this show, I haven't seen a black man. So it makes me wonder if there is a love interest, if it's going to be like an interracial couple type of situation.
Yeah, I thought it would be the guy that we see in the first scene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Wilson?
Yeah.
Mark, he's a district attorney.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if it's him, because they're already kind of like going at it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting. We'll find out.
Yeah, I did want to add one other thing too. I think that, well, if you really think about this, like, look at the main characters. They're all so different. You have a black judge, you have a white judge, and then you also have a public defender who is Latina. You have a legal assistant who is of Asian descent, and then you have Lindsay, who's the court reporter, and you have the bailiff, who's a black man. I feel like it's so diverse. Like, I love what they're doing, because I feel like that these cases aren't going to necessarily be just about African Americans because it's a black judge, but I think it's about, because it does take place too in LA. So I mean, and we live in LA, I mean, so I think that it's going to also hit on minorities. So just everyone, not just black people.
And women too.
Right.
It didn't dawn on me until you went through all the characters. This is very much a female-led,
girl power
show.
Oh, for
all
sure.
the leadership positions are women. So I'm excited to see how those issues come about, and just the portrayal of women. I feel like sometimes our portrayals can be really one-dimensional. So I'm hoping that the writers give these women some depth, and we really get to see and understand their backstories.
Yes, I totally agree. I think one thing I'm thinking is going to be the center of this show is not just the cases and, the justice that they're trying to get, but also seeing it, like you said, from a black woman's perspective, seeing how, she probably is going to feel like she has to prove herself a little more because she's a black woman, and seemingly a young black woman. There's probably going to be a lot of people that are around her who probably feel like maybe she wasn't supposed to be in that position, or maybe they don't think that she's going to do a good job. So I'm interested to see, how she beats those odds and how she's able to prove herself, if she's able to prove herself, and see who's going to kind of be on her side to, make it happen. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I know. Speaking of on her side, y'all should be on our side.
Yes.
We just want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and making us the ESPN of TV Talk. If you guys are on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you're on iTunes, make sure you guys give us a 5-star rating. We definitely love AfterBuzz. It's given us a lot. Literally, I wouldn't be where I am, obviously, without AfterBuzz, and I feel like I've learned so much. I've grown so much being a part of this, and I couldn't do it without you guys. None of us could. So we just want to thank you guys so much for all your support, and continue watching and shouting, leaving comments. We can shout you guys out and interacting with us.
Yes. Thank you. And if you are watching live, make sure to pop into the live chat. We do have it up, and we want to see what you're talking about and help us join the conversation. So thank you for that. Because this is a show about justice and a judge and all things legal, I'm assuming they're going to, like you said, get into real issues that are taking place in the world and kind of find a way to talk about it in the show. So what are some of the issues you think they are going to address, or that you would like to see addressed on this show?
I feel like a woman's self-defense. Is it, because I feel like I don't know the story of why the girl was in her underwear, but it seemed like it was kind of, I was getting a vibe that it was like she had did something wrong, but kind of was, it's objective. Was it wrong, or was she trying to help herself? So I feel like, and sometimes we see that a lot, even in today's cases, it was self-defense, he was going to do something, and then sometimes it doesn't work out that way. So I hope that's something that they tackle, because it's a sticky situation.
Good one.
That is. I'd love that as well. I think also I would like to see on top of, I'm trying to think. Okay, I'm blanking right now. I'm gonna come back. I had one in my head, but then once I said I agree with you, it kind of slipped. So come back to me.
Okay. What do you think, Princess?
I think that they will definitely tackle immigration issues.
Good one.
We see, I think the public defender was a Latina, but then also the defendant that we see in the trailer, she's of that descent as well. So it'll be interesting to just see how those things are involved, and it takes place in LA. How can you not encounter that?
That's a good one.
So it'll be cool to see what perspective they bring to that issue.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I didn't even think about that. My mind kind of went to police brutality because, you know, that's a big issue, especially in our community. So I was like, they got to touch that at some point. And definitely the Me Too movement, you know, women dealing with sexual assault and just being, you know, dealing with that. I think they're going to talk about that a lot. What do you think, Shantieri? Did you get to think of what you...
I was in the live chat. Shout out to you guys in the live chat. ER's grandpa, Aaron, okay. And then Aaron's grandpa said, nice sex, Shantieri. In my live read. It's cute. So shout out to you guys. I kind of thought about it. So I think more so people who don't necessarily maybe have like a voice, like those people who kind of get forgot about. Like, you know, sometimes I feel like there's a lot of people who end up in the justice system because of like their upbringing or because they don't really have anybody. I feel like that sometimes those are the targets because they don't necessarily have that support system. So I don't necessarily know, I'm trying to figure out how to say this, but like people who are like naive, who may end up getting talked into doing something because the cops said that, oh, you were here, and kind of just interrogating them for so long till they start to believe that they actually did that. If that
Kind of like a when they see a situation for the people who've seen that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say that, but yes, that.
Yeah. And you see that a lot too, especially in our community. Since we're all Black women, we can talk like this. Especially in our community, you know, situations where they may be coerced into giving stories or may just be framed for something that they really didn't do. Or maybe they did do it, but it was just a simple mistake, or they're young, or situations like that. So I definitely agree, you know, they'll have a Black judge, they'll have a judge who seemingly will be for our people, who will be able to kind of help them out in those situations. So I totally agree with what you're saying. Yeah. Knowing the cast, is there anybody you're excited to see?
I was excited to see Simone Missick because I was a big fan of Luke Cage. I was sad to see it go. I felt like it ended on a cliffhanger. So I'm excited to see that actress, and also Marge Helgenberger from CSI. I was a big fan of that show, so I'm just happy to see their faces.
Nice. What about you guys?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't have anyone in particular. I just feel like I keep watching videos of, like you said earlier, the chemistry of this cast. They all seem so happy to be together. So like they seem like they genuinely like each other. So no one in specific. I'm happy to see their chemistry on TV.
Nice.
Yeah, same. I was literally gonna say the exact same thing. I think I love it. It's like girl power. You got these women in power. So I'm here for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you had to create Simone's character in your head, like if she had certain attributes or certain things that she do, what would she be? And I'm giving y'all a lot of like questions that require thought, and we don't have that much time to talk. But I mean, for me, I was just so excited to see her face when I saw this trailer that I was like, there's so many avenues they can take her down, and so many ways she can be. So I'm just curious, you know, when people see her, what do they want her to be?
I don't know. I feel like we saw so many sides of her in just the trailer. We saw her tripping because she's clumsy, but then we saw her be really strong and smart. So I don't know if she's going to be like Ally McBeal. I don't know.
I'd like to see her as like a huge humanitarian. Like I feel like we don't get to know much about judges, or if we do, it's like a scandal or something. So I would like to see her like really community driven.
I like that.
Yeah.
I know I definitely don't want to see her like mean. I love Judge Judy, but not like Judge Judy. But I want to see growth. Like I feel like that with her, I would love to see her kind of coming into her own as a judge. Just kind of coming in a little, you know, unsure and, you know, trying to still get her feet wet. And then I want to see her come on top strong and finish strong.
Yeah.
I think it'll make it for a good story.
I agree. I think what I was kind of thinking in my head kind of embodied everything you said, but I think the main thing for me is kind of what you said, Princess, about, you know, we saw her tripping and falling, but we also saw her standing her ground in court. And I think part of that is just seeing her as a human being. She's not just this super strong judge. She has flaws. She has fears, she has doubts, she probably has a bunch of people behind her who are telling her she can't do it, and she has to put all that behind her to be this strong judge. And I think that's just a testament to just being a Black woman, period, in your job and in the world regardless, is always having that fear of like disappointing someone, or fear that we always have to be this strong Black woman and hold everything on our shoulders, but we never get to show our vulnerability and, you know, things that we are scared of, things that make us sad, that we are clumsy and fall every now and again. So I think that's one of the biggest things I want to see.
Yeah, I think that's going to be such a great, that humor element to me. I really look forward to that, because I feel like it's going to be such a good balance, and it's going to show, yes, she's serious and she's about the law, but at the same time, she's human and she's relatable and she's funny, and that's kind of, I feel like that's how I am as a person. That's what makes her humorous, and that's what makes her human, is, you know, we're not just these one-dimensional robots, but we have different sides to us. So I'm excited to see that come out too.
Yes, definitely.
Most definitely.
Yeah, and I think it's so important now, especially because, like I said, I did work at CBS, and I saw the the stuff that was in the pipeline and things that were already out on CBS. And, you know, just from being a viewer of CBS, that there wasn't really a lot of diversity on the network. If we're just being completely honest, no shade, CBS. And if there were characters of color, they kind of all fit the standard stereotypes. So I'm excited to see, hopefully, that this will be somebody who can break those stereotypes, that, you know, Black women are not a monolith. That's a word I've been hearing lately. We're not a monolith. We have different sides to us, and we're not all the same type of person. So I'm excited to see that portrayed.
Yeah, I really love scripted TV, and nothing against unscripted, but I'm here for a good show that's scripted, because I feel like that sometimes we get so caught up in unscripted, where I'm just like, I love seeing like good TV. So, and especially stuff that's like real, that's relatable. So I'm excited for this show.
Well, what makes, and this could be a question for the entire panel, but what makes something good TV for you? Is it the acting? Is it the directing? Is it the way things are shot? Or is it just the content? Or could it be all of those things?
I definitely think it's all of them. I mean, obviously, I'm excited about the characters. I mean, I never went specifically into Simone, but I feel like that she's such a great actress. I feel like that she's someone to definitely look out for. But I just appreciate when people can come up with things that are talked about in the media. Like, obviously, everything online is so like he say, she say and stuff. I feel like that when you think about shows like this stuff is real. And I think this is kind of like a great. I know this, and when they see us, it's completely separate. I understand that, but I think it's nice to kind of have a judge out there that cares about the justice system, and she gives me that. She gives me someone that's really, really trying to make a change and to do right, and I love that. I love like real stuff like that. I'm a little sensitive, so I just right. I mean, I love that. So I know I'm kind of like rambling, but no, I can really appreciate when people take the time to find different ways to like connect with the audience.
Yes. Yeah.
For me, I think it's writing and cinematography, and I'm not expecting any like crazy shots. Like nothing's being blown up like in this series, but I think for me, like the writing is what really makes or breaks a good show. Like if it's someone's like says something corny and you already know what's next, you're like, oh gosh, that takes away from the quality of the show. And I really hope that the writers really show up. Like I didn't do much research on the writers, but I should, and I hope that they really make it like elevate the series.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think that some shows can just be so heavy, and sometimes they really want to shove an issue or a perspective on an issue down your throat. But I'm hoping that this will be one of those shows where I'm able to watch it, have an emotional response to it, and take something from it without it being, we're
force-fed.
Right, right. I don't want to be force-fed. Okay, this is the issue we're talking about, and this is the perspective we want to bring to you on that issue. I want it to be something where it feels natural, it doesn't feel forced. And like I said earlier, I can relate to the characters. I can see myself in their flaws, and even in their high moments, too. So that's what I'm hoping is more from the writing as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
A couple things I wanted to just mention in the chat really quick. Ronaisha, I'm so sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, said this is huge for CBS. And I completely agree.
Yeah.
This is really big for them. So shout out to her. Also, ER's grandpa, love the name, says, I like the level of witty banter, both spoken and visual. Like that tissue box handoff reminds me of the West Wing. So, yeah.
I like it.
Love it.
Yeah, it's definitely needed. And it's funny that you mentioned, like, you know, there's a black lead, there's a Latina, and it's funny because, like, CBS was like, oh, you want diversity? You're going to get diversity. Here's this. So luckily, they're finally hearing what everybody's had to say, that we need more of it on CBS. And I hope that this is the start and we see a lot more after this. And I think this is very important. And I'm excited that we're the ones who get to talk about it every night. So before we get out of here, I guess we don't have predictions because we haven't seen the first episode yet. But I guess what we're predicting for the first episode, maybe? What are we thinking?
I think that we are going to, of course, get an introduction to her, and I think someone said this earlier, see her stumble and try and find her way in this and just see how she struggles. I think that's what the first episode is going to be dedicated to, just her struggling and kind of popping up in the end and standing her ground, but I think we'll just get that first introduction.
Okay.
I feel like this first episode will be a lot of us getting to know her, but I also feel like I think it'll be funny. Like, I feel like the first episode kind of has to be funny to, like, draw in the viewers to watch the next episode. So I feel like we're going to be laughing a lot on next Monday.
Yeah, I think that, I have no idea, but I think that the first episode is going to be more so them trying to kind of get her to come. I think the Wilson, he played Mark plays Wilson Bethel. I think he's going to be the one trying to get her to, like, come and be a judge. So I think that, like I said, we'll get to know about her, but I think it's going to end with her wanting to be a part of this based off of, like, the girl. I think the girl is going to kind of be that intro to, like, making her want to, like, take this job in a sense.
Yeah.
So
What I'm thinking is, it seems like from the trailer and from the clips I watched that this is going to be her first time being a judge. It's something new for her. So I think we're going to see her make a mistake. And we're going to just see how she recovers from it. And that's going to be the baseline of our show. So I'm excited to see it. Well, ladies, this has been so fun. But we'll have to wait until next Monday at this same time to get into the real nitty gritty when we get into episode 1. So make sure if you're watching right now that you tune in at the same time, same place next Monday. Before we get out of here, ladies, can you let us know where they can find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at Princess Carol TV. I'm also on Facebook, Princess Carol, and Instagram, Princess CTV. Or not Instagram, Twitter, Princess CTV.
I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Zuri Shalise, ZURICHELLECE.
and I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Shantiera.
And I'm your host, Alexis Brown. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at I am Lexi Fierce. That is IAMLEXIFIERCE. And until we meet again, buzz you later.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.